A group of anthropomorphic chickens live on an egg farm run by the evil Mrs. Tweedy and her oafish husband Mr. Tweedy, who kill any chicken that is no longer able to lay eggs. The chickens try to escape frequently, but are always caught. Frustrated at the minuscule and declining profits that the farm generates, Mrs. Tweedy gets a better idea of converting the farm to automated production and having a pie machine to turn the chickens into meat pies. A suspicious Mr. Tweedy wonders if the chickens are plotting, but Mrs. Tweedy dismisses his beliefs. One day, the chickens' leader, Ginger, sees and witnesses an American rooster named Rocky Roads crash land in the farm's coop. The chickens put a cast on his damaged wing and hide him from the Tweedies. Interested in Rocky's apparent flying abilities, Ginger begs him to help teach her and the chickens to fly. Rocky gives them training lessons while Mr. Tweedy builds the pie machine. Later, Rocky holds a party when his wing is healed, and Ginger insists he demonstrates flying the next day, but Mr. Tweedy finishes making the pie machine and puts Ginger in it for a test run. Rocky saves her and inadvertently sabotages the machine, giving them time to warn the others of the Tweedies' plans and only a short time to escape. The next day, Ginger finds Rocky has left, leaving behind part of a poster that reveals he was a stunt rooster, fired from a cannon and unable to fly himself, depressing her and the others. Elderly Rooster Fowler tries to cheer them up by telling stories of his time as a mascot in the Royal Air Force, giving Ginger the idea to create a plane to flee the farm. The chickens, with help from Nick and Fetch, are two rats who smuggle contraband, assemble parts for the plane as Mr. Tweedy fixes the machine. Mrs. Tweedy orders Mr. Tweedy to gather all the chickens for the machine, but the chickens attack him, leaving him bound and gagged as they finish the plane. Meanwhile, Rocky, still on the run, encounters a billboard advertising Mrs. Tweedy's chicken pies and returns to the farm out of guilt for abandoning the chickens. An alerted Mrs. Tweedy attacks Ginger as she hails. P.S. The plane take off but is subdued by Rocky, who leaves with Ginger by holding onto a line of Christmas lights snagged by the departing plane. Mrs. Tweedy follows by climbing up the line to defeat Ginger with an axe. As Mrs. Tweedy reaches her, Ginger dodges the axe blade which cuts through the line, sending Mrs. Tweedy falling into the safety valve of the pie machine and causing it to explode. Having freed himself, Mr. Tweedy reminds Mrs. Tweedy of his warning that the chickens were organized, much to her frustration. The barn door then falls on Mrs. Tweedy, crushing her. The chickens fly to an island that they make their home and celebrate their victory while Ginger and Rocky kiss. During the credits, Nick and Fetcher discuss starting their own chicken farm so they can have all the eggs they could eat, but then end up arguing over whether or not the chicken or the egg came first.